What's up everybody, welcome back to more Paint One, and we got a lighting tutorial for you guys. We're taking a look at Ho Fan's work. He is a master photographer, and the way he utilized values and contrast was very expertly done. Today I'm going to do some studies, and after that I'm going to take what I've learned from those studies and kind of create my own composition. Doing studies like these are great, black and white studies, because the only thing that you're focused on is the value. You're not thinking about color once again. And I used the lasso tool from the previous lessons to kind of quickly establish the overall shapes of what I think the values are in his original photography. Now, the reason why I use his artwork is because he has a very good depiction of foreground, middle, and background. And you can even see how he captures these scenes that has all these elements, including atmosphere, direction of light, specks of dark, and specks of highlights. And what's amazing is, as you look in his photography, he doesn't have images that are strictly dark, also things that aren't just overblownly white. The first thing that I always notice is the darks aren't as black as you think it is. And this is a good note to take. You want to use your darks and lights sparingly, especially your darks. You want to kind of think about your value as a resource, and the more you use of something, you might run out of it. So even though things may look dark, I'm actually going a little bit lighter than going completely black. That way, if I need things to be darker, I can use the black to add to it. Now, one thing that I've learned from this is when I'm doing my own study, I can just focus on the shapes of the lights and darks. You can see that I'm not zooming in at all, and I'm using the lasso tool to establish the lights, and this helps me separate and create contrast. When I do my own study, I begin to play around with shapes, playing around with what looks cool and what looks appealing to the eye, and I start to borrow heavily from my previous study. So I actually reference off of what I did before and kind of create my own image. I add little elements of my own. Now, Fan Ho's work is great, and I think all artists can learn from his photography, because you not only learn value, lights and darks, lighting, but you also understand or begin to see composition and how elements of the piece start to move your eye around the image. If you look at this piece in particular, everything is leading your eye towards the center. And this is very important because our eyes are very sensitive to light. Which is also the reason why you want to use your lights sparingly and have a strong focal point. Wherever you have the brightest point in your image, that's where you're telling your audience to look at. And everything else is kind of coming together to point the audience in the right direction. And if you need to, you can start adding more whites and more darks towards the end of the image rather than early on. Now, once again, I'm utilizing the lasso tool because I don't want to go in and hand paint everything. If you can, feel free to do it. But if all I'm trying to do is just capture the shape, give an impression of what a person or a figure would be. I'm not going to go in and draw every detail of the face. That's not important. As long as it reads, that's all that matters. Now, in terms of the direction of lighting, as you can see, the lighting is coming from the catwalk and is shining down under the subway. So when I start adding highlights onto the characters, I'm going to add them in the direction where the light is coming from. Everything else around the corner, I'm kind of leaving it to the darkness because I want your eyes to be focused, the center of the piece. So I hope this was helpful. And yeah, pretty much do some studies. I'm always trying to do studies. Anytime I try to do these little lessons, I need to practice myself. This helps me a lot. Basics are very important. Understanding value is important. I'm still learning so much about it to this day. And there's many things that I can work on, but this is why it's important that you guys understand value. And from value, it will help you create contrast. So keep at it, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.